Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to welcome you to episode of the update, where we get information about what we need to do, what we are doing, what you're supposed to be doing, even more better than before, or what you have not been doing that you need to understand how to start to do them. Maybe you are just here, you just wondering what is the update is all about. This is the update that for you to understand, especially during this lockdown, during this pandemic situation that the whole world is experiencing. You have to understand that you need something to get going in your life. You need to get yourself to a place whereby you have to rediscover yourself and prepare yourself to launch out into another dimension. And what do you need to get yourself into this dimension? You need an update. The update in which area you need to reprocess yourself. And when you reprocess yourself, you discover that there are some things that you have been using, the way you have been doing things in the past, that is not fit for the current time, but the update will help you to change way of doing things. And by the time you get yourself together, you will realize that you'll be doing better in what you are doing. This is the platform that we educate ourselves, reminding ourselves, training ourselves to be better in what we are doing at the moment. It's a moment that we encourage ourselves, whereby you don't have to be discouraged about what is going on, but be encouraged so that you can see a better opportunity come your way. It's a program that also empower you to be able to do more. If you have been doing one thing before, you see yourself that you have capacity to do more or two other things alongside with what you are doing before. A better life, a better way, and a better future. Today, on this platform, I have a special guest whom will be speaking to us all the way from Nigeria. He is a chairman for PFN in Lagos State. And we want to talk more about the church and the impact of the church in our community this day, and globally, what the church needs to do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bishop Sola, all the way from Nigeria. Good evening, sir. Good morning on my end here. How are you?
Good evening from Nigeria.
Yes, sir. It's nice meeting you, sir.
God bless you, sir.
Amen. The world wants to know, as I said, we got a big fish to give to the world today. And I said, we want to know who is Bishop Sola Ore, and how, they want to know more about you, sir.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm Sola Ore. By the grace of God, I'm a husband of one wife, who is a woman.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, I have 4 children and many grandchildren by the grace of God. I gave my life to Christ about 40 years ago on a crusade ground, and then somebody introduced me to Redeemed Christian Church of God, where I spent about 16 years. I got into Redeem when Daddy Gio, Pastor Adeboye, was my parish pastor. So it's been a long time now. It wasn't a Gio then. And then we continue, and I've been in ministry now for about 32 years only. Born about over 6 decades now. And well, I'm the chairman of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. I've been to a grassroots Pentecostal man, having been an what we call chapter vice chairman, and I became the regional chairman. Then I became the state treasurer, and then for the past uh, for more than 5 years now, I've been the state chairman of PFN, and I also happen to be the chairman of the Lagos State Christian Freedom Welfare Board. But we have a ministry called Love Aglow Ministries International, which we started in 1998, about 22 years ago, with the blessing of, I received the blessing of my daddy in the Lord. He prayed for me in his office and he released me to go. And that was 1998, March precisely, but we didn't start the ministry until May 1998. And we just thank God. God has been faithful to us. We have our own property, and now, and I believe God is helping us. God is helping us. I think that's just about me.
Yeah, yeah. With the background that you have, and with the experience and what God has used you for in the mission, in the body of Christ today, and the way the church, what you have done so far with the body of Christ, sir, we know definitely that God has used you for many, many, many lives. Now, I just want to ask you, sir, what is PFN?
Thank you. PFN is Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. It's a body that was started in 1985 by our fathers in the faith, who see the need for Pentecostal people, born again believers, to come together and work in the unity of purpose. And our theme is that they may be one, so that they come together and begin to preach the gospel of Jesus in the oneness of purpose. That's and then I'm the chairman for Lagos. We have all over the states of Nigeria.
So with that ham of with the PFN, so we have all the. Is it like you have to be a Pentecostal church to be under that group, or
Exactly.
it's just comprised of everybody in the body of Christ?
Yeah, or a Pentecostal. That's why we have Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. But in wholeness, we have one Nigeria. Christian Association of Nigeria comprises of 5 blocks of the church. So you have the CCN, you have the Equatecan, you have the OAIC, that is the Organization of African Institute of Churches. That is the OAIC these are the Aladoras churches and everything. While the CCN is the Methodist, the Anglican, the Baptist, if I omit any of them, it's not intentional. Then we have the 3rd block, which is Equatecan. Equatecan, they are predominantly in the north. Not that they are not in Lagos. Of course, they are in Lagos. Then we have the CSN, the Catholic. They have CSN, Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria. So then we have the 5th block, which is CPFN and PFN. So we are 2 in that one block. The CPFN are the Apostolic Church, the Christ Apostolic Church, the Gospel Apostolic Church. These apostolic churches, and then the PFN are the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Foursquare, the Love Aglow, and all the Pentecostal like that. So it is imperative that at least your church belongs to one of the blocks, and you cannot be a member of CAN if you are not a member of any of the blocks. So that is how the structure.
Mm-hmm.
So what qualifies me to be a member of CAN is because I'm a member of our block, which is CTFN, PFN. So no individual can say he is going to CAN. From which block? You don't have a block, you cannot be a member of CAN.
Oh, okay. So if you have to be a member of CAN, or I mean a member of the block before you can be. Now the question is just this: with the way this with all these block that we have, is there any regulation for churches? Because now with what we have, what we see in the churches these days, there are pastors and there are pastors.
Yeah.
And just like the adage says, it's hard to make that proverb in the presence of elders like you.
No, please go ahead.
But it always say it says it's just one slave that will make you to abuse all other slaves.
1,000 slaves, yeah.
Yes, because there are some ministry that when people look at it, it makes them to generalize and generalize every ministry together. That's the problem that the church has, and that one part, because that the way they say that there is no regulation in the church. There is no. Do they belong to one particular group or so? What is the CAN? What are the PFN doing in to address regulation of opening churches?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really a challenge. This is really a challenge. That's been a challenge because the Christian Association of Nigeria, under which all the blocks come, is not even a regulatory body. So what we have now is that the Methodists have their rules. So if anybody misbehaves in Methodists, they know what to do to him. If anybody misbehaves in Catholic Church, they know what they need to do to him. If anybody in the Equa and all of that, or Baptist, if they misbehave, they know how to do what to do to him to curb their excess. But unfortunately, in my own block, that's where we have a challenge. Because the PFN, for example, is the gathering of independent churches. While some can discipline, within presence of God, you cannot misbehave, you can discipline you. In deeper life, they can discipline you. In first class, they can discipline you. In our church, you can be disciplined. But the issue is that if I discipline you in our church, you can decide to go to first class, for example. And the general officer of first class will not keep a tab on every individual that comes into church. So that is where we, as a matter of fact, it is in our block, in my own block, the PFN, that we have this lack of, you can't control, you can't do anything. And CAN also, as an association, cannot say don't do this, except people are disciplined in their various blocks. So I don't know what to do. They will tell you that there's a freedom of association of worship and all of that. Now, for example, recently a pastor was arrested, I think last week, because he went to conduct service when the instruction has been given that nobody should conduct service. And he was even not, it's very unfortunate that even when he was accosted, he was even arguing with the chairman of that local government until that one now called police to come and effect an arrest. So they arrested him. Immediately I saw that thing. Somebody posted it, and I called the person because in Lagos State, PFN is so structured that we know those who are our members. Because there are some people who come, like you said, that people will come with fantastic name that will sound so Pentecostal and everything. So, but we know our members, and that is what we keep on doing. So I called the person that is in charge of that province, and he now told me that, well, he was our member, but I think maybe something happened, he stopped coming. So as far as we are concerned, he's not our member. So that is one of the areas that we back. So if eventually, I don't know what the government is going to do to him, but he can't get our support. He cannot get our support. So maybe by the time he sorted himself out, and he now see the need for him to belong properly, he will come and then we give him our rules. In fact, what we want to be doing now is that anybody that misbehaves, because you see some people, they be burning candles, they be burning fire on the altar and all of that, and they say that they are Christian. So, but we can't stop them. But what we can do is to publicly disown them. Probably we call a press release and say this one is not one of us. But it's really a challenge.
But if you look at the way the whole thing is, let me use my own area for example. Government regulates what the church, what should be, what the church should look like. Apart from the fact that everybody still have their own your vision statement. So you still have your vision statement and everything, but still we have everything you run through government. So government run you, so you know what you should do, what you should not. You understand? And from time to time, if you misbehave, it's easy for government to actually get involved than before the other body comes into it. But with the way that the situation in that of Nigeria is, don't you think it is possible to have the government backing with that, whereby before church is being opened? For example, here you cannot open a church. You cannot open a church without registering your church. You understand? Because you register the church just the same way you register business, anything, organization you can register anything here. You cannot operate doing anything without being registered, because if you do that, you can if any problem comes out of it, you can get arrested for it. So that's why they want to see monitor how everything is being done, and every year you renew your license, as in the license of the church. I mean, registration of the church itself, so they can easily get track record of your church. Now, is it not possible so that you can be able to set up the rules, regulation for that block? If it's possible for every church to go through government, register before start operating. But we have a lot of churches that are operating without you don't even know that they if they register or not. We just find a location, just find a place, and we start the church from there. So
yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think I don't know where to really put the blame. And I've not really studied the Constitution other than the one that I know that asks us the freedom of association. But not many, a lot of churches are registered with the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, as a non-profit organization. And of course, but it's not a condition for opening of your ministry. And I think that's why we have so many things all over the place. So I said, I don't know where to lay the blame, because if this is in the Constitution and everything is like this, it means that the government did not do. Probably they are afraid because religious something is a volatile topic or thing in Nigeria. It can spark off so many things. Maybe that's why the government is almost silent about that. And then what we see them doing is coming up one by one, bringing some regulations, which probably is there before, and they're not bringing it. And then you see a spark and a reaction. The other time they said we are to register. What they want to know, the Lagos, they said they want to know the number of churches and mosques in Lagos. Many of our people are already reacting. They see it as government interference in the affairs of the church. And so it will take a lot of time, and the government has to say, no, that's not it. But we want to really know. how many churches we have in Nigeria. So, but of course, we PFN will have data. Maybe some other body and some other blocks will also have data. But it's a loose thing. It's a loose thing. Very loose. I know that in US, for example, you cannot open a church if you don't have a parking space. You can, in US, for example, you cannot open a church, you cannot start a ministry if you don't have a ramp and maybe 2 exits and all of those things. So but here you know, nobody pay attention to that. Probably the government now wants to begin to pay attention, but we are seeing it as an attack on the church. So, but we are trying to educate ourselves that let's put our house in order before the government will come with for example, now they are beginning to tell us that we should put our books in order. People are already kicking against it, but that's accountability, and we have to do it. So I will just get the church prepared and ready. We need to do certain things and put our house in order. But what we have now is so loose that a church can be here in the next building. There's another church there, and no precaution, no safety, anything. Everybody just decide to do his own thing. And then you have some churches, they may not be more than 10, another person just few meters away, it may not be 8, they may not be more than 8. It's loose as well, it's loose. But I think the leadership of PFM are looking at some of this area before the government will come with their enforcement.
But I think one of the things that we've been contributed to, in my own opinion, that contributed to that kind of loose act could just be based on the corruption that we have in our country, and probably with the government themselves. If it's not one-sided, I think that should be a reason whereby everybody should be able to comply. If it's been done, in such a way that, I'm not doing this one just only to politicize my campaign because I'm a Muslim governor, and I want to do something to. If I don't do it in the right way, people might always want to kick against it in such a way that it will not give a proper meaning of your intention. Or what do you think? Because the way I say it is just like the way most of this whole thing is being acted under politics.
Well, it may not really be politics. It may be, like I said, everybody being careful about religion. Religion, like I said, in Nigeria is a very, very volatile, very, very, very serious, So, and if Governor A came, served his term, and he went away, another governor comes, he does not want to now begin to do something that the other one did not do, except if they can find it in the laws of the land where certain things have to be done. For example, look at this noise pollution, for example.
Yes.
When they came, my Christian brother said is a law against the church. But this law has been there, but nobody dare to carry it out. Now, when somebody now have the will or the boldness to carry it out, they said it is because they want to come against the church. And then they decided, for example, what of mosque? Mosque has this loudspeaker, whatever, and they are not. And the reasons the government gave is plausible. In fact, one of the leaders, one of the Christian leaders, in Nigeria, complained that a pastor who started a ministry, and right into this man of God's bedroom, he projected the horn speaker right to the man's bedroom and be disturbing him. But he said he cannot complain because they know him to be a bishop, so that it will not be as if he's not happy that. But how can you, for goodness sake, project? But I think he complained. I think he told the man How can you project your own speaker to somebody's bedroom? And as a matter of fact, there are some places where a church should not be.
Yes.
So the same problem that the government may have, just don't want to wipe up settlement, is the problem I may also have. If I now begin to tell people, don't do this, don't do that, they will say, well, maybe because his church has a parking lot, his church has this, that is why he's saying all of those things. But if it has been there, before you can start a church, these are the requirements you must fulfill. Because if you register with CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, they will not come and inspect. I mean, you are just registering as a business entity. Nobody to come and check whether those things, you comply with all of those things. So I think it's a laxity on the part of the government, and trying to do it now, it will need a lot of persuasion to let the church know that they are not after the church, but that things should be done properly.
But what about kind of suggestion? If is there any room for church, like using our platform and our organization and blogs, starting from CAN to all the blogs, and from blog to begin to educate people what we stand for, what the church should be like. I totally agree and understand that to make a change is always difficult, and people will always over spiritualize things when it comes to putting regulations in order. You understand? You get what I'm saying, sir? So, like, just the way you have said right now, it is quite understood that we believe having church, having service in our location is very, very important. But why? If not because of coronavirus that happened right now, that kept everybody home. Not everybody will ever believe that we can actually still organize service from home, and people will still be able to turn in for the service. I believe it should be a lesson to everybody. If you are called, by God to just come do this work, you will realize now what do you do when you don't have people at the site right now? Nobody gathered at the church anymore right now. But at least church is still going on in every home, online and everything. So whenever we want to do when we talk about change, people have tendency of kicking against it, most especially when it doesn't favor them. So I probably want to ask: is it not possible for the blogs and the association to develop a manifesto whereby there will be we'll be able to create room for training and awareness for all these things that you have made mention?
Yeah, I think I will pass. They are thinking about it. I mean, that many people are concerned about the state of the church in Nigeria. I will also pass this so that maybe can begin to seriously sit down and develop a blueprint. Develop a blueprint for the church. Develop a blueprint for the church. It's really important. It's really important. It's really important. So it's really important. But we may not be able to get it quickly because normally people resist change. But I think if we know that this is where we are going, we will get there.
What do you see to the COVID-19 lockdown? How has it affected churches?
Well, it has affected the church. When we say the church itself is not affected because we are the church.
Yes.
And it is the church building that were locked down, not the church. And this is what we are reminding our people, that you are the church, I'm the church. And as long as we can communicate with our Father, then I will live in them, they shall be my people, I will be their people. So that will not stay there. but the gathering together of the church is the thing. Well, thank God for technology. Yeah, for big churches like yours, have a challenge because, and especially for those of you who are over there, where the cost of internet is almost everybody can bear it, because I remember anytime I come to US, I can just pay subscription maybe for, I mean, there's so many ones. I can do the one of $30 and I will use it for the whole time that I'll be there, maybe for 1 month or something. There is no network failure, as we have in Nigeria. I mean, if it will come, you will not even know when it comes and it's rectified. Yeah. So it might be easy for you over there, and then for some churches that are big and they can afford a good internet connection. But some of our members, some of them, look at Yoruba churches, for example, they don't even know, many of them, they don't even know, all they have is this phone that is not even Android, maybe Windows of those old days and all of that. So they can, how do you reach out to them? And you have to reach out to everybody. And then the cost of internet, like I said, and then also electricity, sometimes you may have data and you don't have light to power it. So these are challenges for some people. And when people look at the church as a whole, they look at those big churches. The Redeemed Church, big, not all Redeemed churches are big. The Living Faith, the big churches like House on the Rock, and so many big churches like many. They look at them. They don't even look at the other small churches or growing churches like our own. So they just believe that everybody can afford this thing. And so many of our members are cut out or cut off. I'm talking to you now. We are talking, I mean, as if we are so close to one another, and we are thousands of kilometers or meters away or miles away. So it affects us in one way or the other. And then also, personally, I enjoy prayer when we come together. Mm-hmm. The Bible says, iron sharpen iron. Iron will not be able to sharpen iron except they touch themselves, except they come together. So you discover that, in fact, many of our members have been saying, excuse me, when are we coming to church? When is the church opening? There was a day they arrested a pastor before the initial lockdown, and one of the members, a woman, was complaining. How can you say we should not come to church? I need to be in church because that is where I receive my healing. That is where I want to pray to my God and everything. So one way or the other, it shows the pastors that there's another way that we can do ministry. And one of the ways is to get across to us and everything. And then, of course, probably we can go back to the house fellowship. I want to be with my people. I want to dance. I can't be dancing alone now. I want to hear good music and dig it and dance, because the Bible says, praise the Lord in the dance.
Yes.
So, and when we come together, the Bible will also say that forsake not the assembly of yourself together. Yes. And the Bible says we are 2 or 3 people
gathered in my name.
We can gather spiritually, but it said gather together. I'm talking to you now, but we are not together. There could be some benefit if we are together. I can give you a high five, I can pat your back, I can smile and say, oh, my brother, God bless you, and give you a knuckle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I can't do that now because I want to spoil my computer.
Which is true.
Online service, I think, should be complementary. It should not be the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It should be complementary. So, but thank God, like I said, that God has foresaw this place, so He gave some people the intelligence to develop something like this. Otherwise, we won't have been able to talk to ourselves. But like I said, it also shows, Pastor, that they should not rely on the income of the church. You know? That is the challenge many people are having. And I've said this times without number. Throughout when I was in Redeemed Church, I was not a full-time pastor. In fact, one day when my dad Adeboye called me, I think they want to transfer me somewhere, and I told him I'm not a full-time. The man was surprised. Said, "You mean that many people who met me in Redeemed, they have become full-time?" I wasn't full-time throughout. In fact, many of my people in the church that I pastor, they don't even know I was not full-time because most of the time I'm almost in the church. But I have some other things that I'm doing that is giving me income. Because if I'm a part-time, that means there's no salary for me. So, and I keep on telling our people, they will tell you that God said, if they walk, he will kill them. I said, no, that is the God that they preached to us years ago. That is a wicked God. This God we serve is never wicked. He can't kill you. Paul was a tent maker. So let them have some other source of income, because part of what we are even saying that you are mentioning the other time is that many churches, they don't have an account. They don't keep record. Just collect tax and offering and put it in your pocket. When your wife needs money for pepper, you put your hand in your pocket and you give him 500 naira for pepper. He needs tomatoes. So in no record, no anything. You know. So now they said they want to be looking. They want us to one of the laws is that every year you must do a return, annual returns. How many churches are doing annual returns? So if the government now want to implement that, which is even in the CAC, the Corporate Affairs Commission, they now say, they have come, they are against the church. We need to put our house in order. So what COVID has also taught us is to know that we don't have to depend, on the income from the church. The other day when one person was talking about the tithe and all of that, they call him all manner of names. And I've said it in our church. If you don't pay tithe, you will get to heaven. And I'm repeating it on this forum. You will get there. Because tithe payment is not the basis for getting to heaven. The Bible says, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
Yes.
He didn't say, so once you are born again, you are saved. It is salvation that qualifies you for heaven. So, yes. But if you are genuinely saved, nobody needs to tell you to pay tithe. Because in fact, tithe is the least. If you understand what Christ has done for you, you pay. I have people in my church who pay more than tithe. I mean, they pay 20, some pay 30 and everything without harassing them, without manipulating them, without causing them. So what COVID has done to us is that, Pastor, and I've been telling them, go and God will not kill you because you have another source of income. As long as that does not take you away completely from what you are doing. I mean, I know many people over there in America who are doing some other things, apart from sitting down in the church. I mean, of course, they have to do that because the financial regulation in that place is even more strict. The pastor can go to jail. No pastor has been sent to jail here because and it's really, and I tell people, if people see that you are doing something and money is coming in, they will not think that they are the one that is feeding you. Because they believe that their tithe and their offering is what you are eating. So that is another aspect that COVID has told us, that we should check on that level or source of income.
Yeah, you said something about accountability.
Yes, sir.
You said something about accountability. That is one of the things that I see going on. Probably because of where I am here, and if we to talk about the church that is most richest in the world, there is a church called Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, Mama.
They call them Mama or LDS. In terms of organization, they are organized. In terms of when we talk about evangelism or whatever, anything, they are there. And in terms of humanitarian service, they are number one as well. You see, I don't know much about the doctrine of Jehovah's Witness and all other one. But you see, the Mormon church that I've seen here, they are so well organized in the sense that they are in humanitarian service. They are there to help the community. And one of the things that we lack in Africa, or that we that is a challenge that we have in Africa, is that we don't see how to help people quickly. The government, even if government failed, I don't think the church should fail, because the church is supposed to be a place whereby people come, they get both spiritual healing and physical healing. So I want to ask you, what is the PFN doing or can doing in terms of humanitarian service to the community? Not just only when the people come, we just pray for them and say, go, God will provide, or God will solve it. What are the things that we do or we are doing as a group or as the church to help the government or to help the community? Not talking about government in case the government failed.
Well, thank you for these questions that are coming in, because it will help me to really hear my opinion, which may not be popular with my constituency, and that's the current PFM, As a group, honestly, I don't see what we are doing. But as individual churches, we reach out.
Yes.
I know that there are some churches that have what they call community social responsibility, CSR. I know Redeem has. I know some other churches. I'm sure Living Faith. I'm sure so many, and then even the CCN, the Methodist, the Anglican, and all of that. I'm sure they have. But for us to come together as a body, and that throws up another challenge, that we are not united. We are not united. Everybody wants to do something so that they can take the glory. Whether consciously or unconsciously, I don't know. But for us to come together, for example, let me use our church so that it will not be as if I'm criticizing anybody. When Love Aglow, if Love Aglow wants to do a crusade now, or Love Aglow wants to give water to the community, I stay in First Stack, Lagos, and want to give water to the community, everybody in the church will be as excited, will contribute money and want to do, probably we call it Water of Life project. But when PFN, as a body in First Stack, wants to do a project, Love Aglow will not want to give much money, because it is not Love Aglow project, it is PFN project. The same thing with all the other churches that we contribute. When an individual church or ministry want to do something, they will do it. But when we say let's contribute together and do something, and it's a burden to me. So, and I don't know, except God will help us. And I said in the forum, I said, we are not kingdom-minded. We are not kingdom-minded. It's about me, my ministry, my church. And that will not get us anywhere. Even the mama that we are talking about, if they have an association that is not just mama alone, you may discover that they may not even do much as they are doing as mama.
Yes, it's true.
And that is the human nature. We want to take the glory. We want to be known. We want to be famous. We want to expand. I mean, like you said, when you look at some of their churches, in fact, because of the ascetic environment of this church, you even want to go there. I mean, in that place, we have a lawn tennis place, they have a basketball court, and all of that.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
So, why can't they join other people and let us do this thing together? Well, I mean, maybe we cannot because of the doctrinal differences, but even those that have the same doctrine. Okay, I said it. Redeemed Church has a university. I'm not against it. I'm just trying to explain myself. Living Faith has a Covenant University. Baptist ask their university, Bowen or something. Then there's this one, Babcock, that is for
7 days. 7 days Adventist.
7 day Adventist. I said it not too long ago. Why can't we Christians, even the Pentecostal alone, why don't we say, let's have a university so that we can make more impact in the life of the community? In that university, let, for example, the Redeemed Christian said, we want to sponsor law faculty. Law faculty will say, we want to sponsor religious faculty. Winners will say, we want to sponsor engineering faculty. And we contribute money, not with the expectation of any return. We see it as a mission field, so that we are not expecting a return, and then we'll be able to pay the lecturer very well, and it will make this, will make the school fees very, very low. That is how the missionary came in now.
Yes.
Many people went through missionary meeting. We never paid, we didn't pay anything. So why can't we do that together? The university when we come together, we're able to achieve more. So it be my challenge, and I'm just praying that maybe one day God will do something. But for people like us, I can only talk. I don't have the means to do what we are talking about. But that is the way to go. So until we begin to do that, our effort in the community will be minimized. To help the community will be minimized.
Yeah, because I remember that was the time I was in Greece one time, and somebody said, individually, as an individual, the Greeks are kind of wealthy, but when it comes to national, they are poor, and because that brought them down. Even when they had crisis, everything just went down with them, because the people that are the individual wealth could not even sustain them any longer. And now the only thing I could see in this, what is going on with the body of Christ as a whole. Let's just put it as a whole. In an advanced country, the churches are well regulated by government, so that it's not just you have your do's and don'ts where you can get to, and the moment you get to a community, before you even start your like when I got to this place, your church cannot thrive, you cannot do anything without being involved in the community service.
Wow.
Because the people that you want to evangelize to, when somebody is homeless and the church is out there already, doing things for the homeless, the next thing, without even preaching the word, they receive every care that they need to get, apart from the one the government is giving, but the church is still out there. So the church, the government can also easily support them by, when they see that the church, whenever the church is in need, the government will easily support. For example, I will tell you, when they shut the church down, everybody went down, stay home. At some point in time, in our place here, the government even said, they give out loans to business organizations, including churches. You understand? Because some people have mortgage that they pay, that the church is paying. There's some people who have staff that they are paying in their church. So they roll out loans to to some of them, to some people. Some churches get at least $1,000. Some even get $1 million. You understand? So it depends on the capacity of the church. But at the same time, when you are filling the form, there is a place there that says, what have you done to the community? What are the community services that you are doing? You understand? So if you are not doing that, you will know that definitely you may not receive anything back. And I have seen situations whereby you yourself, you will not feel good, because definitely reaching out to community get you, make you fulfill that it's not just only people coming into the house that makes you good or that makes your work easier, because Jesus fed people, and at the same time he still went out to still do community service to people as well. So when we look at this thing as a church in Nigeria, because we have a platform that gather people that we call as a PFN, CAN, other blogs that you have mentioned. I think it will be more. It should be more easier for us to do just as the way you have said it. Apart from everything that everybody is doing, like your church says, I want to open up the water community service for some people. They will do it easily. Nigeria, we don't have hospitals. There is no standard hospital that you can say we have. Forgetting that pastors will fall sick, ministers will fall sick, government officials will fall sick, president will fall sick. If we have all this, we see it as, if all of us can see it as a community service work. You understand? That's the only way to make impact in the community. We see it as a community work. So my question, my advice, or my question, as you said, that way, if you say it, nobody was going to say anything. Nobody, we are not. That people is not ready. But I think if it's part of discussion that anytime we come together for a meeting, that will make an impact. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like you are rightly said. When we speak like this together, you get one or two things to take home, and I think this is a good thing. But I think now individually, as leaders, as leaders individually, we need to think: is it about me or about the kingdom? If we can answer that question sincerely, it will be easy for us to come together and carry out some of these things that we are talking about. But until individually we resolve that matter in our heart, we may not be able to do anything. Because like I said, everybody, in fact, that's why there are a lot of competition. This one does this, I want to do this. I want to do more. I want to do that. We want to build a cathedral. There's nothing wrong with it. We want to do that. We want to do that. Nobody, very few people are thinking of, let's come together. Starting from, okay, supposing, why can't I reach out to another church around me and say, hey, man of God, can we come together? Let's pool our resources together, workers, all of that. Let's pool our resources together and do an open air crusade. And the souls that God has given to us, they are free to go to anybody. They may not even come to us, but they can go to any other place that they can be fed, even when those people did not participate in the crusade. Why can't we do that? But the first thing that anybody that you go to approach that way will tell you is, what is in it for me? They first of all ask you, how do we divide the offering that we are going to collect at the crusade? So until we come together and until we come as an individual, me, as Sola, you as Femi Ojo, and we think individually, I say, is it about me or about the kingdom? You understand me? Is it about me, about the kingdom? You see, I pray that by the time the government will start to deal with us. I don't know how many churches will remain in Nigeria. I don't know how many. I don't know how many church structure or building or denomination will remain, because there is many people. They just wake up and they want to do whatever they want to do. They just want to do ministry. So until we begin to also say, like you said, what can we do for the community, and not what the community will do for us. So, well, these are great ideas that at the greater one in my capacity, I will share with my leadership in PFN and see, and see what we can do. Well, fortunately, during the lockdown, you see, and of course, yeah, look at what the U.S. government or whatever they have done. They are even giving people money to loan to pay. Here, if you have staff, many churches have laid off their staff because there's no income, so you cannot pay them. And so that is why the government also cannot lay claim and then do what they should do, because they are not. There is nothing like helping any church since this lockdown began. Just lock us down. Nothing. Those who have rented an apartment as their church, they couldn't pay, and the landlord will not want to know anything about COVID. He has to collect his money. So, but like I said, the church, we need to really begin to think out of the box. Well, how do we do it? How do we come together and affect the community together, not as one? Because if it's an individual doing it, you will not be able to make an impact. You will not be able to make impact the way you should have made impact if many more people joined you to make the impact. But you don't want anybody to join you because you want to take everything to the glory, and it's not about the kingdom.
Yeah, but do you think there is need for reformation in the organizations?
Well, I don't know what you mean by reformation.
Okay, reformation reformation in the sense that, like, we have everybody that comes to the organization right now, like Lagos State. Let's just start from Lagos State. You've been the chairman of the Lagos. Now, in the Lagos State now, every organization, every church that's under the PFN in Lagos, we want to write out regulations, or mission statement, whereby this is our. I don't care about what your mission, what your church is doing. It's not about what your church is doing, but as a body, this is what we want to be doing in Lagos. You understand? So we center on humanitarian service, and some of our humanitarian service has to do with how do we relieve people of problems that they have. Are you getting me, sir? So how do we relieve people? What if you pick up a project? Let's just say this year we just want to do, no matter how small it is, because I believe it all boils down to how can I trust you? You understand? We are coming together. If as you said, if you are to organize a crusade, some people are feeling insecure about, oh, my member is going to run to that church, my member is going to run to that place, or the offering that how do we going to share the offering, which shouldn't be a problem. So, but what should be our goal as a group, since we call ourselves a group right now? What would be our goal? Let's just say we want to do this one this year. We want to do this one, and that's what I mean by reformation.
Okay, yeah, thank you. In PFN in Lagos, God has really helped us. We really have good structure on ground. We have good structure. Directorate, but specifically 3 of them is what I want to just cite as an example. We have Directorate of Strategic and Planning. We have the Directorate of Business Development. We have the Directorate of Training. There are so many directorates. We have Directorate of Evangelism and Mission. And we have done few things. For mission, for example, we have had to mobilize our members for mission work in some places in the riverine area and all of that. Directorate of Business, they are saddled with the responsibility of sitting down together, because the issue is with PFN, my target and my focus is on the pastors, on the ministers themselves. Mm-hmm. Because once the pastors are okay, they can influence their members. Mm-hmm. And I discovered that in Lagos, for example, the majority, 80% of people who are in PFN are small and medium, upcoming churches. The 20% are the big churches who I believe are sufficient on their own. I mean, well, that's what I think. And so the 80% are the people that really need help. So many times they ask the question, what is PFN doing for us? Some of them, you may discover that they may not have up to 10,000 naira as offering in a month. In fact, 10,000 is even a big amount to some of them. So how do we help them? The question is not, where does even PFN get its money from? That's where we need to start from. By subscription. From these same people who don't have much. There's no grant from the government, there's no anything. So it's really difficult. So, but for people like many people who are so sold out to kingdom and to corporate assistance of the church, you go out of your way, you pay more than your subscription so that we cover a little for those who cannot pay. And then, so we now set up this business development. So let's begin to educate pastor to get something to do as extra income. So now we are starting a cooperative society. After post-COVID, the director of training, they are coming up with something that will be a blessing to the church, to the leadership after COVID. And so we'll be unveiling that. If we want to start by the grace of God by July, and some of these things is that we want to find out how do we start a cooperative. You start a cooperative, pay a little amount of money, then from that you can borrow maybe 2 or 2.5 of what you have contributed to do something. And then by the time you do that and the pastors are a little bit comfortable, they can generate more money, and then we can now go into the community. But during the COVID, we are able to, we help some pastors from the account, from the money PFN have I wanted to say Kwara State, for the money that PFN has in their purse, in our purse. So we have nothing prophecies. So we now pick, we told the prophet chairman, give us at least, is it 4 or 5 names of indigent pastors that we can send money to. The money that we send to them is so small that, but at least they know that we have their interests at that. And then we now say, please do what we are also doing by looking for another extra 5 pastors, and from your own purse in your province, do something for them. So that is what we have done for during the COVID, during this lockdown. But we need much more to be able to. So I believe that with the cooperative thing and with other something and with other aspects of the training that we are doing, I believe that we'll be able to do something better.
Yeah, but what about the church? What is the church doing with the with the government, as in government into politics, government in the the church? What is the church doing with government and politics?
Yeah, we have a directorate that we call intergovernmental directorate, where we have a man that is been involved in the government before, who we liaise with between us and the government. If there's any law, any policy that is coming, he will be able to. He's representing us in the government as it were, not a government employee. And then we have also done a lot of sensitizing or sensitization politically, that the church should be involved in politics. We used to say politics is a dirty game, but if we leave it, it becomes more dirty. But honestly, in recent times, I begin to think that one rich man amongst his poor people, it was 7 poor people. When we have a righteous man, a child of God, goes into politics and is surrounded by people who are ungodly, he won't be able to make any impact. If care is not taken, he will become one of them. That's what I've seen happen. So, because if, for example, we send you, Pastor Femi Ojo, to go and represent, to go, become the chairman of a local government, for example, and you agree to go, but we did not fund your campaign. We didn't do anything. It is the Muslim, is the politician, is the ritualist, and all of the people that sponsor your campaign. They gave you money to pay nomination form and all of that. The church could not do anything. When you get that, even though you are a child of God, you have the Spirit of God inside of you, but he that plays the piper will dictate the tune.
Yes.
So before you know what is happening, you won't be able to, you are just there, you won't be able to do what you are supposed to do. You know that this one, but you don't have that financial assistance from the church. They will only be telling you, don't worry, brother, we are praying for you. At that point in time, it's not prayer alone. We need to support you. You need to be able to look back and know that some people are supporting you. And then the people who give you money, when they come for you to assist them, and they are giving you money because they know why they are giving you the money. So, and that's why many people see politics as an investment. So they want to collect their investment back from you. And if you say no, then that's going to be trouble. And before you know what is happening, you discover that you find yourself in no. And the option is for you to either resign or to continue like that. So it's really so also we're also trying to do some political education too, and then speak to the conscience of our rich brother. We have rich Christians to be able to once you say this is the person. If for example in Lagos State we have a child of God that is a governor, I think the constituency allow independent candidates. So if we have a Christian governor and say, you are going, we are supporting you, and we raise millions of money, and then we educate our members, we educate the Christian populace, and we say, yeah, we'll go ahead. And if he becomes the governor, then he will know that it's some people who send him here. So, but we have not gotten there yet. Maybe we will get there.
Yeah, that is just one of the things that I see. Even though we talked about the corruption, that is a problem in the government, as a whole. And what about this issue of corruption in Nigeria, and also the same corruption also start in the church?
Well, corruption is not only in Nigeria; it's in US too.
No, it's all everywhere. But when we are talking about, as a father, I ask my child not to take, not to steal, not to take whatever it doesn't belong to you. But the child sees you doing the same thing, and and am I not doing against what I tell?
I think our problem is an accountability problem.
Yes.
If people will learn to talk, but I discovered that many people don't want to talk. They rather want to gossip or grumble. And I tell people, I said the problem of Nigeria is caused by the church, because I don't want to say by religious leaders. I'm talking about Christian something. That's what this platform is all about. Because if me as a pastor, if I as a pastor see somebody who entered into politics, or whether politics or not, he did not, and then he was giving 10,000 naira as tithe. Suddenly, he brings a tithe of 100,000. I think I should be able to call that individual and say, I thank God for your life. Oh. Can you share this testimony with me? Because you used to pay 10,000. Now you are paying 100,000. Then he will tell me, maybe it was somebody who gave me this sometime. Someone. Then I will be able to now begin to make a tap. Well, people may say, well, that is if the church is not big. What if the church is big? The church always starts small now before it grows. And so when people understand who you are, then they will know. They will know, that you will not just take anything anyhow. And then maybe a member of my church that I know was living in a 2-bedroom flat. Suddenly, he asked me to come and dedicate a duplex. And I know it's in politics, or I know it's in business. If I'm his pastor, I will ask him questions. So it starts from there. But like you said, corruption, because many of us, even as Christian leaders, we are greedy. We are greedy. We are materialistic. That's the challenge we are. If a pastor begins to preach and he says, "You see, this is my Rolex watch. When I went to America, I bought it for $5,000 US." Sometimes when I hear something, I tell those people that I can talk to that something's wrong with you. In my house, when you come, my cars they give to me it's littered. It litters the compound. You are boasting that you have 10 cars, 11 cars. Doing what with them? One day somebody was preaching, in my house I have not less than 38-bedroom bungalow. What has that got to do? How do you build people up? So you are sending a wrong message to your members, and then you are telling them that because they are living in a one-room apartment, they are not successful. So they want to be successful like their pastor, and they want to do anything. So that is where the corruption, and then many of us, we can't talk again because we know that if you preach the right message, those people are giving us money will leave us. So corruption starts. Let me tell you, my brother, corruption in the church corruption and politics in the church is even higher and greater in the church than is in the political parties that we have. And who are the people in the political party? Are they not members of our churches? They are members of the mosque. So that's why I said the problem and the challenge is with us. So religious leaders, but let's deal with the Christian. We can't speak the truth because of what we said. What we want to eat did not make us, what we want to eat does not make us wise. So, so I agree with you that most of this problem, of course, we to obey. If they don't obey, if they don't do what we preach, then it's not our fault. But let us tell them. At least it be on record that this man is always talking against this thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not that absolutely. If I tell them, they will know. Yeah. You tell them. If I tell them, yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. The problem that what this program is all about is for us to correct what is wrong in our system.
Yes.
Whatever is, see, everybody will wake up one day and still realize that, I am doing something wrong. I'm a father, and I know, okay, if I'm doing something wrong, my child will come up one day and ask me, why is your own different from other people that I'm seeing over there? Because when we look at our life, yes, we claim, Bible says, these signs shall follow them that believe. If we don't see the sign that follow us as a believer, then something is wrong. I get what I'm, so there's something. What is wrong in our system is just like, if we can put back that accountability that, as you have said, I know you might get backlash on some of the things that you said, somehow, but at the same time, if we all sit down and I say God called me, and I see my fellow people suffering, and yet we don't feel happy to help them, and I'm living comfortable, and yet I don't know how it sounds to people. Bible says in Acts of Apostles that the apostles brought everything to the feet of the apostles, and they shared it to the point there was no need, there was nobody among them that was in need. But yet I understand that Bible still says there will still be poor among us. But that
Yeah.
there's a way for us to also minimize and see how we create that impact that that in the society, that people will be able to say, indeed, this organization did something. Just the same way each church, each organization is doing things in the society, building, having free school, having free lunch, having free food. Why can't we put that same resources together and say, this is just in the name of PFN, can, or whatever. This association, it makes the work much easier.
Yeah.
It makes, if you have 30 people in your under your association right now, sir, and you know their capacity. Maybe your church is the most biggest church among them, and we say, okay, we trust one another. Let's every church bring. This is our project. We have a project of 500,000. And we want to contribute towards this 500,000. And everybody contribute their own share. You know, the bigger one know that they might not be able to put little amount in there. But we know that this is just towards the kingdom. And they did the work correctly. Give account of how much the money is being spent without even embezzle, because I know sometimes even in the church like that, they still embezzle the same money.
Yes, sir.
They say we still embezzle the same money, but if you give account of that same work, and I think it should be a joy by the time the work is accomplished, and we see the joy in the face of the community that we did that for. That should be able to motivate us to do more next time, because I can trust you. But poverty has made us to the point that little money that I see in that we contribute, even as pastors, we still want to do what we still want to find a way to just make out of that, because we lack trust, and nobody can arrest me, or nobody can do something based on accountability. But all still boil down to regulation and what the church stands for, what the organization stands for. What the church stands for. I don't care what your church look like. I care about what your constitution says in your own church. But if we draw out what they call bylaw or constitution for this particular PFN in Lagos or in other places, as long as you belong to this place, this is what we stand for. And I know, I pray God will help you, that you will be your team will be able to build trust with one another to actually be able to achieve something. And I know the change that we are talking about can even start from that your place, as long as the vision that you have, people want to run with it. Start with that, and I believe that could be a transformation, as long as people begin to see what is going on in Lagos. And I pray for wisdom for you, sir, with that. And just before we go, I have these two questions. What is the term of the office of being a chairman of PFN?
What is the what?
The time, the time frame that you have.
Okay. It's a 4-year, a 2 tenure of 4 year each.
Mm-hmm.
You could come back, or you may not come back. Just like we have in the government, 4 years at a time. Then you can come back if they so desire to run the second term.
Second term.
Yeah. So I'm on my second term now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, which will expire 2022.
So I had the opportunity to have this kind of conversation with one of one of my friends also who happened to run for governorship of Ondo State one time. And when we're talking about politics, and we said something that, see, if I happen to be a governor or be in politics in Nigeria, I want to make sure I make an impact. What people have failed to do, if it's possible, that the people, I'm sure people heard they're listening to you right now. There are people that are, or that this question is burdened in their heart. They don't know that probably you have tried to initiate this kind of ideas, and the organization is not, people are not accepting it. But I believe when you go back and try to initiate this, it will be on the record that you tried, that people did not accept it. Will it be possible for your organization to start up, to revisit these ideas that you have, because you have a very good idea and kind of burning desire that will benefit the state or benefit the whole organization?
But by the grace of God, God will help us. I remember that when I built on the foundation of those who have gone before me. But I discovered that from what I hear and from what I see, that many people, they are joining PFN more than before. Because some people will tell me that they will say that, in fact, we don't even want to have anything to do with PFN, but when we see your leadership and your simplicity and everything, we want to come. And it is in this our tenure, especially this second one, that we deliberately appoint people into position. We try to put the round peg in a round hole. A lot of training has been involved in training. Strategy is a strategic man. The person we put in terms of business development has worked in the bank before he left and became a full-time pastor. The director of mission is a missionary. For example, the director of training and his assistant, coincidentally, the deputy director of training is Pastor Falodu, Reverend Falodu, who has been involved in seminars and training, all of that. So that people that comes there are people who want to give us out of what they are, out of who they are. They are not struggling with the positions that and so we interview them, serious interview. That some of them said he cannot even remember the last time he went through the rigor of interview like this. It was when he was looking for a job secularly. And of course, all these are voluntary job in PFM. Nobody's being paid any salary. So that they can sit down and strategize for me. And I can't do all, I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. And they have been doing a lot of things. I believe that in the next 2 years, by the grace of God, if Christ has not come, we will leave PFN better than we met it, by the grace of God.
Thank you so much, sir. And I really appreciate your work and this discussion. It has been a kind of burden in my heart, with the way the church is being run, and that which gives rooms for some people, just random people, just look back at the church and they can just run down the church. Somebody who has been in the ministry for 30 something years, 40 something years, and somebody just woke up tomorrow morning and start talking about what, and some are not even in the ministry, and they just look at the church and I believe the church is not a place, or the people that are there are not qualified, or because of some other people that are just out there destroying, that are there for their belly, and they're destroying the work. And with the way the whole thing is, I hope more regulation will be able to come to the body of Christ, and we'll be able to do things rightly. Thank you so much for your leadership, and thank you so much for what you are doing in Lagos and in the body of Christ. We really appreciate
last words. I want people who are watching us or who watch us to know that people are agitating for the opening of the church and not agitating because of money.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They are not agitating So people should get it right, that I'm not agitating for money or for tithe or whatever. But, you know, there is this warmth, WARMTH, warmth of fellowship that we need to come together. And I've told people several times, coronavirus is a spiritual problem. It's a spiritual problem. And we can deal with it spiritually. The Bible says when Peter was arrested, the people, the church gathered together. And while they were praying, it looks like God answered their prayer faster than they expected. Because when somebody was knocking the door, a woman went to open the door. They ran back. He said, "It's Peter." I said, "No, are you dreaming? How can Peter come?" Because there is power in prayer. We have missed, and then it's not all just about, because people are saying so many things that are not right, and the government should pay attention to it. It's a spiritual problem, because they said there is no fasting. They don't even know what they are. They don't even know what they are doing. They don't know what they want. They are trying, but there is no solution in any man-made something. Jesus is the great physician. That is why we want to come together. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know, you've heard from Bishop Sola, the chairman of PFN in Lagos State. And also, I know is also a voice, giant voice among the PFN as well. I can tell you what the church needs right now. We need the power. We need to come together. Until we are together, we unite together as one. The church is just, it's not a building, it's you and I. It's every one of us come together as one. Then because what God is looking for is looking for one church, one single church. And what single church simply means unity. And in unity, we can move mountain. In unity, we can do exploit. In unity, you can do anything. You can move anything. God is looking for church that is without wrinkle, without blemish, without dissemination, without any evil, without heresy. So that work starts from you as an individual to your neighbor and to everyone around you. If we all come together in one spirit, I believe the fire will fall. If we don't believe in what Paul said, I belong to Paul, another belong to Apollo. If we all come together, remembering that Paul plants, Apollo water, it's only God that can bring the increase. Let's work together. Then by then, we will move the hand of God. Not just by the strength that you have alone that can make it to prevail, but by the strength of God. I pray you begin to think about this from now on and see how I can work together with the PFN, with every other block that I belong to actually see and fish out and drive away every other one that has not been called by God, that are brought in, buying and selling, trading in the church, that God can just, put them aside, that the real church will come forth, and that there will be transformation in our land. God will help you, God will assist you, and God will make your work to be fruitful. I want to thank you, sir, again for coming on this platform. I don't take this for granted. I am very, 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 very grateful for all what you have shared this hour. And I pray God will help you to bring that transformation that you desire into that organization that you are leading, in the mighty name of Jesus. And I want to say thank you to everyone that is watching at this moment, or that watch later. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. Thank you, sir. I hope to see you again. When COVID-19 is over, whenever you come to the US, just let us know. I would like to meet you one-on-one again. And God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for coming. God bless you.